Hello everyone, welcome to the 100 subs special video, as promised. In conjunction with the 100 subs, I decided to attempt at doing a solo run with the Pokemon having dex number 100. As it happens, it's actually Nidoking, a third form evolution and has some decent stats. It also learns a variety of TMs, but a number of them use a special attack, which ironically we'll be planning to use for the future. The only main physical move I intend to have for the endgame is Mega Horn, a 120 base power, 85 accuracy move. Overall, I think this run is definitely possible, and if you see my Grammar solo run, you also know that RNG is a heavy factor in these fights. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin this journey. We start off in New Bark Town, where Professor Elm gives us the choice between 3 starters. Using the Universal Pokemon Randomizer, I replace Cyndaquil with Nidoking, as it will give our rival Totodile, a Pokemon who has super effective moves and allows us to have a much harder run. After obtaining our starter, we name it Peking, for no obvious reason, and these are our stats. We get a Brave Nature, so plus attack minus speed, not too bad, but I'm more amazed at our ability and starting moves. Double Kick and Peck will do wonders in our fights, and attacking the same gender Pokemon will be quite heavy. We then do all the formalities, heading over north of Cherry Grove to talk to Professor Oak, who answers the Pokédex and egg we'll never be using. We have our first Rara fight, which went pretty easy, and we eventually named the red-haired dude Chrono. As some more beginner lessons are being taught to us, let me explain the rules of the challenge. We can only use Nidoking in battle. HM users are okay, but they can't be used in battle. Items are not allowed to use while fighting, but held items are okay. I also want to try to stay at a lower level than I need to be, but there's no telling how that's going to work since Nidoking will be getting a ton of XP from solo fights. We'll see how this goes, but I definitely want to try to beat Lance before level 70. We pick up a Pidgey and Sentret on the way to Violet City for future HM users, so if you see 3 Pokemon in our party, that's why. Inside Violet City, we make quick work of the Bellsprout Tower with Peck and head over to the first gym. On our first try, we use 2 Pecks to fitness Pidgey, and then his ace Pidgeotto comes out. Between us not having a good move and him spamming Roosts, it takes us a while to beat him, but eventually we get our first badge. While we make our way to Azalea Town, if you aren't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. It helps me out a lot and shows that you guys really want more content just like this. Feel free to leave some ideas on what you want to see as well, but I already have some ideas based on what you guys already told me. Inside Azalea Town, we have to fight a couple of Team Rocket grunts inside Slowpoke Well. Honestly, not that big of a deal, but we'll go ahead and skip to Bugsy. We arrive at level 19, which is a little high, I know, but just watch this battle. I go for a Peck, dealing about a third of his HP. We trade a couple of blows and eventually knock him out, leaving me on 9 HP, but I gain 3 from a level up. Her next 2 Pokemon were easy Pecks, but I end up with 9 HP once again, so I don't think I could have beaten this without a lucky crit or something if I were lower level. Next up is Goldenrod, but on the way we do a couple things in the Ilex Forest, something like that. We get HM Cut and teach Nidoking Headbutt, and hopefully we'll be able to use a strong attack plus his ability to maximize physical damage. Anyway, we enter Goldenrod, and again, if you haven't seen the Grammar video, the department store and game corner hosts some of the most powerful TMs, and we definitely will be buying some moves for the late game. On to Whitney's Gym, also known as the most frustrating leader of the whole game. Between Infatuation, Fletching, and Rollout stacks, this part has been known as the Run Ender. Thankfully, we aren't doing hardcore Nuzlocke or anything, so we have attempts to go through. We essentially just spam Double Kick until we win and hope Peking doesn't get infatuated. Third gym leader down, and now we head over to the 4th one. I make sure to pick up the Quick Claw on the way, as it'll come quite handy in turning fights that need a little bit more speed. We defeat a Grunt to get Surf, and head over to the Burn Tower where we easily clear it. We teach Fire Blast to Peking, and with that we take on attempts at Morty. We have a little trouble with Gengar as Shadow Ball Hypnosis is a crazy combo against us, but eventually we hit a critical Fire Blast, allowing us to sweep through the rest of his team. Like I said, a lot of these fights are extremely RNG heavy, and especially since I plan to be using non-100 accuracy moves for the Elite Four, this is going to be a little bit of a fight. From this point, we head to Olivine and take care of the whole lighthouse situation. I'll skip it, but it really is just battles, so we head to Cyanwood to fight Chuck, get the secret potion, and access HM Fly. The fight goes pretty easily, with 2 Pecks knocking out Primate, and then Thrash critting on the second hit. I think if we didn't crit there, we probably would have struggled a bit, but a couple attempts would have done the trick. Immediately after, we fight Jasmine, and between Fire Blast and her Steel type, she didn't stand a chance. I'm surprised we didn't miss a single one with my luck. Now, after this, there's the whole Team Rocket fiasco. I'll skip a majority of it, but it really is just battles again. We team up with Lance for a 2v2, and can I just say, whatever he feeds that Dragonite to have it evolve at level 40, I'm gonna need him to pass it over, because that's pretty illegal. After the first half, we take a break and fight Price, another easy fight using Double Kick and Fire Blast. Considering this is the 7th gym, the levels are extremely low, and honestly, this is probably one of the parts of Heart Gold and SoulSilver that everyone seems to hate. I don't really mind it because it just means less grinding, and that you can really use any Pokemon you want to, but on the other hand, you could say that XP is a commodity, so you have to carefully plan who you want to use. We take on the second half of the Rocket events, and again, boring stuff, so we'll skip to Claire. We arrive at level 47, teaching Peking Thunder and Blizzard. Gyarados goes down pretty easily, but Kingdra is where we have the most trouble. We don't have any super effective moves, and her water type moves are hitting like a truck. We level up a couple more times, trying again and again in between, but eventually we end up on level 52. Gyarados goes down to a Thunder, and Kingdra takes 2 Thunders, with one being critical hit, knocking him out. The rest of our teams were easy Blizzard, giving us all 8 badges. Kinda. We gotta do another side quest for them, but that's pretty irrelevant. Professor Elm calls us and tells us to meet the Kimono Girls. I initially thought it was going to be a tough battle since I don't have a break between them and the evolutions were pretty strong, but surprisingly they all fainted for Earth Power and Thunder. I'm not sure if I'm over leveling or Nidoking is just really this strong, or maybe the evolutions are just that weak. We then have to go to the whole Lugia arc, which isn't anything special if you see my grammar run. Can you tell I really want you guys to watch that video? We'll head over to the Leaf War, what we've all been waiting for. This is what we were working with after some levels. First up is Will, who sends out Zatu, and I take it out with a Thunder. Next up is Jinx, where I misclick Thunder instead of Fire Blast. One Mega Horn takes her out, and Slowbro is out. Thunder one-shots it, and then one more Fire Blast followed by Thunder wins us the fight. I'm starting to think I actually may have over-leveled, but we'll have to see when we get to Lance. Koga is up next, and he sends out Ariados. We take it out with a Fire Blast, and Venomoth is out. Between some bad luck, we get taken down to 35 HP, and one Thunder knocks it out. Fire Blast one-shots Fortress, and the same thing happens to Crobat with the Thunder. Finally, Muk comes out, and here I think he actually takes us out with a Gunk Shot, but thankfully we live here and we beat Koga. Third is Bruno, and since I don't have any super effective moves, I ironically use Mega Horn, something that is ineffective, but since I have such a high attack stat combined with my ability, it makes Mega Horn do a ton of damage. Eventually, after spamming Mega Horn to oblivion, we beat Bruno, allowing us to take on Karen. One Mega Horn takes out her Umbreon, and I use a Thunder Mega Horn combo to take out Houndoom. The rest of our team pretty much follows suit to Thunder, Fire Blast, and Mega Horn. A pretty easy Karen fight. Usually I struggle with her since I don't have any good moves or stats to win against her, but this time it was pretty easy. Finally, we get to Lance. And I think I'll just let the battle play out for you instead of commentating over. And just like that, we beat Pokemon SoulSilver with only one Nidoking. I'm pretty sure I could have beaten it at a slightly lower level, but at the end of the day, what's done is done. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have, go ahead and subscribe. Leave some comments down below on what I should do next. I'll start working on new videos soon. Thank you once again, have a good rest of your day, and good night.